Okay. So first things first, these are the topics that I'm going to cover. First, I'm going to show you how I perform the technical analysis for the coin selection, because no matter how good a strat is or a signal is, if it is on a bad coin, if it is a coin which is doomed to be on a downtrend within the next day or month or year, then you're not going to make any money out of it. The big picture is that I select coins on the indicator analysis that I will show you now. And from these coins, they are then subjected to the strategy, currently the bottom finder high seller strategy, during which the bottom prices are identified and sold within an interval. Now, I will be explaining things in a spiral way, meaning that I will be repeating the same thing with a little bit more detail, because it's a little bit too much to digest for the first. Okay. So first, we are going to cover how I select a coin. Then I will show you how does the current strategy work, and also explain why do we use the current strategy now, because during different market conditions, other strategies are more optimal. Then I will explain when is auto merge needed. We'll explain why you need to have very small amount of buy percentage. Then if you want, I will show you the trick how you can use 30 coins for an explorer and 250 coins in an adventurer. Then I will explain what the rationale behind removing a coin but not selling a coin. And then I will explain a little bit what happens with very, very strange coins, like, for example, the OG coin, which is, I think if some of you have it, is a big red bag, but analysis was showing that this is going to be a very, very good coin. Okay, so let me share my screen on TradeView, and I'll show you how we do the TA analysis, okay? Okay. Do you see my screen? Do you guys see I see you're all unmuted, but do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's just of course we're gonna do several coins, but let's choose Bitcoin. And or if you have the premium TradingView subscription, then you are unlimited regarding the timeframes that you are choosing. And for coin selection, you should always use the 4-day, 5 or 6 day or week. But for now, we're going to stick to the 4-day time frame. Okay. And within the 4-day time frame, you need the following. Okay. First, you have to add many, many indicators. The ones that I will do now. So you click on the indicator, type EMA, that's the moving average exponential, and you click this twice. Okay. Then you go to the EMA, to the settings. Now I select the colors that I've got used to, but the colors is not really important. Input, the time frame should be 1 day, and the length should be 8, and the source should be close. For the second one, let it be yellow, and the length should be 33. The source will close, and the time frame should also be 1 day. Now this 8 1 day and 33 1 day roughly corresponds to the 50 and 200 EMA for the 4-hour time scale, which is a very classical indicator. Whenever there is a cross, I will explain everything. Okay, now just select the indicators. Okay, and the next one, indicators RSI, relative strength index. That should appear on the bottom. Okay, now in the RSI, you right click on the RSI line and you click add indicator. In the add indicator, you type MA, that's for a moving average, click it twice. let this be white, the second one, let it be white. And the input should be 14. Okay. For the second MA, the length should be 24. Let it be, I don't know, green. Okay. And also the time frame should be chart, the same as this one. And also for the white one, the time frame should be chart. Okay. Now, this is actually the most important indicator when there is a cross between, when there is a crossing up of the MA by the RSI. Okay, now we have a lot more to add. Then what you need to do is you go to the indicators and you select the unbalanced volume. Okay, in the unbalanced volume, you right click, add indicator, and you type WMA, demo, once. Doesn't matter the color, but here you have to change this to 30. Time frame chart, source OBV. Beautiful. Okay. Then,
Chris, sorry for interrupting.
yes.
This is kind of fast for me. Could you maybe repeat everything or the most of it? Like for me, it's the first time I work with indicators to add them and everything.
Okay, so okay, let's okay. So from the EMAs.
Yes, actually, I have the MA, but I'm not sure what to do with the second one, with the yellow one. What was the
So the
difference?
yellow one is time frame 1 day, length 33, source close. Okay. Well, let me just do this again. It's not a big deal. So you should have this right? So now for the RSI, you click indicator, you type RSI, you click relative strength index, you close this. Then you right click on the line, right on the line. Add indicator, MA, that's moving average, twice. So you have two of them. Okay. The first one, the length should be 14. Leave everything the same. For the second one, the length should be 24. I just changed the first one to white so it will be more visible. And the second one to green. Okay. Then you go again to the indicators and you look for the unbalanced volume. Okay. And in the unbalanced volume, you right click on the unbalanced volume, add indicator, and you look for the double exponential MA. And then for the settings of the demo, the double exponential, the input, that should be 30. Okay. Now, again, on the OBV, on the unbalanced volume, you right click, add indicator, and you look for the linear regression, and you click this 3 times. Okay. The first time, you change the count to 7. For the second one, you change the count to 14. And for the third one, you change the count to 28. Okay. Then you go to the indicators and you look for the DMI, directional movement index. You add this. Here is your DMI. In the DMI, you do not need the red line. So you go here and in the style, you just click out the ADX because you need just the DI plus and the minus DI. I will explain everything what is what, okay? Now, in the DMI, in the blue line, which is the plus DMI, you right click, add indicator, and again, you'll find the linear regression and you click this 3 times. The first one, you also set to count 7. the second one to 14, and the third one to 28. Okay, good. And you go again to the indicators and you type PVT. That's the price volume trend. And in the price volume trend, you right click and you add indicator MA, moving average. And the setting, the count for the MA, the length should be 12. Okay. And then you add a simple MACD. In the MACD, you just need the bars. You don't need the blue and the red line. So in the style, you remove this and this one. And you also need finally an elder array. So you choose the elder array bull and bear power oscillator. Okay, that's it. All right, now you have your indicators. Okay. Now, how do you select the coins? You select the coins by the following principles. Well, the most important principle is that the EMA, the white one, the EMA 8, should have crossed the EMA 200 not more than 10 time frames. You can see it better if you right click on this one, visual order, bring to front. And you can do the same for the white one, visual order, bring to front. Visual order. So wherever the white one is crossing the yellow, you see if I move my cursor, you can actually see the numbers changing here. So whenever the white one has just crossed above the yellow, so the white one is higher than the yellow. Let me check. It is the 8, yes. So whenever the white one value is bigger than the yellow, it means there has been a cross. So in order for a coin to be, one of the criteria for the coin to be selected, the EMA 8 should be higher than the EMA 33. That's one. The second one is that the RSI must have crossed above the white MA line. Now, for those of you who are with me for some time, you may have remembered at the beginning I have been posting coins which are, let's say, high risk, high yield. These are the ones in which the RSI crosses above the MA24, but many times it was not a real signal. So that's why it was a higher risk. But if the RSI is lower, it means that you are buying the coin at a lower rate. So therefore it's a higher yield. Okay. So for example, look at here. If you have waited for the Bitcoin to be bought here, then you would have bought it at 47,000. But if you have waited for the RSI to cross the white, and it would have been bought at 54,000. So you would have given up this amount of profit. All right. So the first criterion was that the EMA 8 is greater than the EMA 33. The second one is the RSI has just crossed above the MA 14. The third criterion is that the on-balance volume should be on an uptrend. This is actually extremely important. Almost all three linear regressions should look upward, and also not just upward, but this number that you see here should be above 0.3. It means that the confidence of the linear regression for the unbalanced volume is sufficient for you to tell that there is really an uptrend on the unbalanced volume. And the unbalanced volume, the blue line, should be higher than the DEMA 30. Here it's, if you don't want to see this, if this obscures your view, you can click on this one and you see that the unbalanced volume is below the DEMA, so it's not suitable yet. You have to wait until the OBV is above the DEMA value. And after doing this, it should also be in an uptrend. It should look upwards and all three should be above 0.3. The next criterion is that the DMI plus should be above the DMI minus, and at least 2 of the 3 of the linear regressions, but it has to be for one of them must be the long one, the 28, should be on an uptrend. If that's the case, then it's also coin suitable for analysis, for selection. And the next criterion is that the PVT line should have crossed above the MA12, okay? And then you have 2 more indicators, which are other modification indicators. So do not have opening or closing capability, but they rather give you a strength of how sure you are regarding your coin. The best is if the selection, if the coin, all the criteria convene when you're when the MACD is not green, but it's actually red, but it's on the way to becoming green. So anywhere in this region, for example, that is a very, very good indication that the coin is about to break out. Very same for the elder ray, but not so close to the center, but further away near the end. So for the MACD is approximately here, for the elder ray is approximately here. So if you have the above criteria falling in a MACD within this range, or in an elder within this range, that is an excellent coin to select to put into the strategy. Okay, now let's see some examples. For example, let me for the ocean. Okay, because that was a pretty good coin. How does this work? So look, for the ocean, for example, just observe whenever you are having the RSI crossing up the MA, and you are also having an uptrend on the OBV, and all 3 looking upwards, when you have the DMI plus all 3 looking upwards, you actually have very strong gain pattern. So within 24 days, let's say it's 120, or the next one, approximately here, 58% within 52 days. Now, so this, what I suggest to you is that choose any coin you like and try to apply the analysis. So by using this TA analysis, you select a coin, but it doesn't tell you when to buy it and when exactly to sell it. Now, this is the task of the strategy. So the strategy does not make any coin selection. The strategy, it just opens position and closes positions. So how is this done? So I'm going to show you actually a real Hopper, because the very same, of course, I have many Hoppers, but I'm going to show you the ones that that I think you guys are running the same. So I think you have a Binance Hopper, and this is not a paper Hopper, this is an actual Hopper, and this is based on the exact same strat and TA selection that you guys are running, meaning that you are following the coins that I'm posting, and this strategy is the same strategy that you guys are having. Okay. So the strategy works in this way. Of course, the configuration is hidden for you, and I will show you the salient features. It's entirely based on RSI on many time scales, but sometimes you see that the time scales are identical, but what varies within the time scales is that whether the RSI is considered in the open position, closed position, low position, or high position, and what thresholds have I set for those. So what the strategy is doing is that it's looking for RSI values in which this very good coin is about to dip, is about to make a bottom. And then I also have RSI values again on same time frames, but they all vary in thresholds and whether I consider the open, close, low, or high position to make the sell. For example, let's say for the ocean position, one sell point is based on the day level and on the 4-hour level. So if there is a convening of both the 4-hour level and the day level reaching above 70 or 68, I'm not going to tell you the exact values now. This is a good indication for sell, and you can see this here. For example, this is for a 4-hour RSI 70. When the RSI 70, you see that the price starts to fall, because most of the million hoppers around the world are set to sell whenever the 4-hour RSI has been reached. Of course, this is not applicable for all coins. I try to make the strategies to accommodate for as many variabilities as possible for all the coins. That's why there will always be coins that are not really reached to 70 and they start to fall. For example, an excellent problem is the API3. If anyone has the API3, you may remember that the API3 has reached a plus 30 at some point, but now it has fallen because it didn't reach the criteria for it to be sold. But it will go into a very good sell range again. So this is the API3. So it should have been sold here. So the day, you see, it wasn't reached. It wasn't reached, and after this, it started to decline. It wasn't reached. It wasn't sold because this value was, you see, it was 67. It didn't reach the value. I usually indicate to sell it at the value of 68.8, and then it starts. But it just went under it. So it's going to happen with very few amounts of coins that is not going to be sold because of the strategy. And then you can ask me, okay, why don't I set the strategy to sell at 67? Because if I do this between 67 and 70, you have very strong gains for many coins. So if I set the strategy to sell at 67, you are going to lose a lot of profits for many coins. If you go to the charts of this, sorry, on the stats of this strategy, no, stats. Let's go to the Binance because it's a little bit better. You will see that these are the daily profits by allowing the settings to sell when the 4-hour and the 1-hour and many time frames and open, close, low, high position of the RSI have reached, which is above 30%. If I have indicated to sell at 67, it would be like between 15 and 20. You would have lost a 10 to 15% per coin. Of course, that means that some coins, unfortunately, do not reach the threshold and they are not sold. And you say, oh my God, it was not sold. But it will be, because you have to just keep it until the next cycle, because everything goes in cycles here. Okay. Do you have any questions so far?
I just got here, so I don't have any questions yet. This is Robolis from the, from the chat. But yeah, I have no idea. I don't have any questions yet, but I'll.
Okay, it is recorded. If you go through this and you have any questions, you can ask me later. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, Christos.
Yes.
One question. Can you do it with one other coin, for example, VIT, or what you just removed for MIR? You removed it from the
VID or MIR. Let's see for VID. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to see why and how for me.
Okay. So let's check that. Let's check at MIR. So the MIR, I think, was added on the 29th of November or so, because you have, let's go to the 4-day. So the MIR was added approximately, when was it? I think 13th of November or 17th of November. Okay. And because the RSI was above the MA, okay, and because the unbalanced volume was on an uptrend, and because the DMI plus was also on an uptrend, and because it was near the end of an elder ray power. This is usually a pretty good indication for a coin to go up.
Yes.
Okay? So
Chris, maybe one question that may interest everybody. What do these indicators actually mean? Like RSI, EMA, everything like that. I mean, I understand you have the criteria, but I don't know, what does that value tell me actually?
okay, so that is going to take a lot to answer. What is each indicator? Do you mind if I mean, okay, so I can tell
No,
you.
it's okay. It's okay if it's not possible, but I was just curious because then I would actually probably understand a little bit more than
Okay,
just to know if it's below or above a certain value.
okay, so the relative strength index is an indicator that it is counterintuitive why I use it this way if I explain to you, because the lower the RSI, the more appealing a coin to be bought. But what I'm explaining to you now is that the RSI has to cross up a certain value to be bought. So the rationale behind it is that you have a coin which is going up and up and up, and what I'm trying to do is to be sure that it's going up, and then buy it later on when it's still on the uptrend and make a 30-40% gain. Okay, so you don't try to buy it as the low, because for example, an RSI of this what you see here at 25 is fantastic, but you may have to wait. Let's say for an RSI 25, you have to wait for half a year or a year until you are going to see good profit. Okay, or sometimes in other ones you have to wait 2 or 3 years. And then if you see 25 is not the bottom, it can go even more down from an RSI 25 to 15, and you will be losing 50% of your invested value. It is not safe to do so, although it's a very cheap coin to buy. What I rather do is apply this methodology in which the RSI crosses up the MA, and this is not something that I came up into my mind one day. I woke up and figured it out. This is a modification of a known methodology in which you investigate the cross of the RSI 6 over the EMA5, and it practically shows almost identical entry points. It's just a little bit more robust for the cryptocurrency, and that everything has to be on an unbalanced. So this is the RSI. If it is high, it means that the coin price is very high and it should be sold very soon. If it is very low, then it's very cheap. The unbalanced volume is simply an indicator of tells you how much of the volume is there, both on the buying and the selling. The higher the unbalanced volume, it means there are more people interested in buying and selling it, and at higher volumes. That's all. If you have an unbalanced volume, and the balanced volume is not the value what is important, but a trend. And that's why you have the 3 linear regressions, and it has to follow going above the DEMA, because the DEMA follows a little bit the OBV, and whenever you have a strong uptrend, then the OBV goes above the DEMA, and that's a good indication that the money the coin is going to break out. The directional movement index is directly related to the actual price of the coin. And it's a little bit of a leading indicator, meaning that it has a little bit of predictive power, what is going to happen with the coin. But again, you never take it as the value, you always take it as a trend. And it means that if you have an upward trend on the DMI, and then it's very likely if the OBV and the RSI go up, that the price of the coin will go up as well. The PVT is not visible here. Let's try for the 1 inch. Yeah. So the price volume time is a combination of the OBV and the DMI, let's say, and if it is above the MA, it is a very safe way of claiming that the coin of the price will remain high. If it goes down, this is a very strong indication for excluding it from the coin selection. The MACD is used as opening and closing positions, but I don't use it as an opening and closing positions because, for example, the MACD, you should open a position when you have a transition from red to green, which you would open it here, but you see that you would open it on the 5th of August, but if you used my strategy, you would have opened it on the 28th of July, which means at a lower price. Okay. And the elder ray is very similar to the MACD, just a little bit different. I just use it to know if it is on the downtrend of the red MACD or the downtrend of the red elder ray. But if you want more information, specific information about these indicators, then I suggest you to look into Investopedia. That is a very good explanation for these indicators and how they are used together. Okay. Okay. So
are these indicators specific to cryptocurrencies or also?
No, they can be used for anything.
Anything, good.
Yeah. But for stocks, then you would use many of them the same, but not identical. So for stocks, the MACD by itself, it works very nicely with the OBV. You don't need this hocus pocus. So the cryptocurrency exhibits extreme volatility. So within a day, you can have 40, 50, 60% variability. I mean, that is not observed in regular stocks. And that's why it's very important to have strong nerves in cryptocurrency or to be indifferent into the fluctuation of the market and just hodl or let the strat work where you will see -20, -30. It doesn't matter. It can go back to +50 within a few days or weeks. Okay. Okay, so we covered the coin selection, the strategy. Yeah, okay. Now, why would you have to buy? Yeah, let's go to the OG because the OG is a very particular coin. It's a pity that Basti is not here because he liked it. Okay, so with the OG, I had it to be bought on the 30th of September because on the 30th of September, you had the RSI MA cross, which I call Hagakure cross, okay? You see that the unbalanced volume was above the DEMA and on an uptrend. You see that the DMI was on an uptrend. You see that even the PVT was also on an uptrend, okay? The MACD and the LDRA were not on a downtrend, but it doesn't matter. These are very strong. So I said, okay, this is gonna be a pretty good coin. But something must have happened on the 4th of October. So this is very rare that you have a coin which is about to break out and then it changes its mind and it's going downwards. Unless there is an event in which while the RSI was above the MA, then the RSI has gone very high up above the 70 threshold. If this has happened, it's very likely that the coin is going to fall very, very much down. For example, the Crow coin, I think this is going to, some of you like the Crow coin. So the Crow coin, this kind of RSIs above 70 and maintained for a long period of time, these are extremely risky things. And I can tell you for sure that when this is going to go down and it will do maybe a little bit this, when it crosses up the RSI, it will be very unsafe to buy it. You have to wait until it makes a nice dip of the RSI below 40, even below 30, and then cross up the MA and then buy it again.
Chris, what's your best guess what happened with OG, like in a practical way?
Like, I don't know. I was actually looking what happened to the company. I couldn't find anything about the company because it's very rare that you see this. Everything is going beautiful and then poof, it's going to go up again. Okay, so just hold it. I think approximately here, which is on the 23rd of December or a bit later, it will start going up and it will go back to the profitable level around March. I think it will go back to this level around March, about here. So just hold it. So exactly because of this, you may get some red bags, even though the coin selection analysis is very robust. You will get some red bags. That's why it's important that you always invest a very small amount of your capital. And it is always suggested to be around 1%. So for my hoppers, for the Binance, I use a 1.1 or something percent. 1.3, yeah. So no, not this one. The 1.7. So about $26, $25. Okay, and I have I have approximately between 1,000 to 3,000 per month. Every month I take out some money. Okay, so this is not always the same remaining. So I never leave it to inflate too much. I usually leave off from it. So 1%, 1.5% of your total amount is a very reasonable thing to have as a amount to buy per coin. Okay. So we covered this, the T-coin analysis, the strategy. Why? Okay. When to use other strats? Other strats are to be used during this time when you have extended periods of time during when the Bitcoin is above 70 and is kept in this way. During this time, please use the Roar or the Elite or the Hagakure Premium, and you can make shitload of money with it. Okay, but of course this comes very rarely. I think the next time it's going to come when the Bitcoin price will be above 100,000. I think it's going to be maybe February or March next year. But during this time, really, no bottom feeders. Just use the Elite, and you can make a lot of money like this.
Did you just say that Bitcoin is going to reach 100,000 in February?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure, but that's what I think. I think by the end of December, it will be about 100,000. There's going to be a very strong rally of Bitcoin around mid of December. Okay. Okay. Now, what to do if a coin is removed? If a coin is removed, unless I have specific instructions to sell it or to put it to the good riddance or do anything else with it, you just let it, because the idea is that, for example, if it was this coin and I have removed it, when it crossed down, then I don't suggest you to keep it into the list, because here, it would be bought by the strategy, but it doesn't make you any money because there isn't any prospect that the bottom has been reached. So the strategy cannot really know when the bottom has been reached if the RSI is below the MA14. That's why you just let it, okay? It's going to come back. Just don't buy more because you were buying a losing coin. Whenever it's going to come back, then I will put it back into the list. And then when it will reach the profit, it will be sold. Okay, so no DCA, no selling, no shorting, no nothing. Now, I know Crash Zero was interested very much in sorting, and I was also very much interested in sorting, but believe me, I spent a lot of time with it, and there are two problems with that. One is that with shorting, you do not know when to buy it back. My analysis is deficient if the RSI is below the MA line. I have not advanced that much. And the other problem is it is a crypto hopper issue that the shorting is crashing every 2-3 days. So you cannot rely on this if your bot is not shorting properly. Okay. Now I would like to show you how can you use 250 coins with an adventurer explorer, okay, or 30 coins with an explorer subscription. Okay, so you can do this through the triggers, but you can first you need to create let's say you have an adventurer. Okay, first you need to create different templates, and the templates, you have different coins. It is allowed to do this by Crypto Hopper. Okay, now with adventurer you can have, I think, 50 coins, but you can have 5 templates. In each template you can have 50 different coins. So that means you can have up to 250 coins. But how to alternate them? What you do is that you go to the triggers, you make a trigger, you call it whatever, select your exchange, whatever, select whatever market you want, let it be BTC, okay? Let it be candle size, I don't know, 1 hour, it doesn't really matter. And set the percent change to be less than 0.001. Okay.
Sorry, what's candle?
Candle is this. So the candle is the price of the coin accumulated for the past hour. That is a candle.
So one candle is always 1 hour, or is the time?
You can set it. You can choose whatever setting you want. So you can set a candle to accumulate prices. Look, the Bitcoin price changes every second. This is every second. Okay. So here one candle is 1 second. Or you can set a candle to 5 minutes, in which the price every second accumulate over the 5 minutes. So 300 prices have been accumulated in one candle. That's a 5-minute candle. Or you can do it for 1 hour. So what you can do in the candle size, you can choose whatever candle size you like, make it to change it when the percentage is less than 0.001. I mean, it is impossible that within 1 hour, the price of the Bitcoin will not change in this area, and change the cooldown period to 5 minutes, which means that every 5 minutes, it will check, and for sure, the price of the Bitcoin changes by about that much within 5 minutes. And you do this for for 5 different either candles or markets or percentages. And what it does is that within 5 minutes, every 5 minutes is going to change a template. And since you have 5 templates, it will be checking 50 coins per template. So therefore, with an adventurer, you can choose, you can have 250 coins. The problem is that whenever I say that you have to add or remove a coin, you have to make sure that no other coin is present on any of the templates. So it does require a bit of work from your side. Okay, but that's how you can do this.
Very useful. Thank you.
Okay. What else can I show you? Let me see this. Oh, okay. So now what I didn't tell you is that there is a priority between the linear regressions and which indicator to use. But if you want to fiddle yourselves, then I suggest you the following. You go to the 4D scale. Your EMA 8 and 33 should be on the 1. So if you want to buy a coin by yourself, then the EMA 8 should be higher than the EMA 33. The RSI should have crossed above the MA 14. And the OBV and the DMI should be on an uptrend. Okay, so these are the absolute criteria for doing this. Sometimes they are overridden. If there is something else going on here, we are not going to go into this, but this is practically the core of the Hagakure analysis.
Christos,
yes.
One question. You said you can use this for every coin, but is it so that when you have low cap coins and high cap coins, it works better with high cap coins, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. What is important is that you should always use market orders.
Yes, okay.
But it doesn't matter with the low cap or high cap coins. Actually, with the low cap coins, you expect greater breakouts, but also greater losses as well if it goes down.
Yeah, we learned that.
Yeah. What's something else I wanted to tell you? It will come anyway. No, it doesn't come now. Okay. Yeah. So let's choose some coins that Killer Whale is using. Okay, because I do not understand how he makes his analysis. Most of the coins that he's using, especially recently, are doomed coins. I do not understand. So let's go. Let's just find some from what he has now. For example, he sent a signal to XMR or to VET or to AAV. Let's check the AAV.
They were from yesterday, right?
I don't know. I just, the AAV was 1201. That's 2 days ago.
Yeah, I think it's always like delayed here. Also for your signals, it's always delayed. I think that's the reason, because when you pay for it and you would get the information for free, it would be like not wise.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the AAV. Okay, so the AAV is RSI is so far below the MA. I mean, one thing about it is that he may be looking for to buy it at the lowest value, but you do not know if that's the lowest value. It's still a very risky thing to do it. So you have a coin which can still go very much down. It's not something that it is a good looking coin that it's bound to increase very soon. It is a coin which currently is very low. I mean, the price is very low, but you have no indication that the coin is going to go up. There is absolutely no indication that the coin is going to go up. Another one was the VET. The VET has actually even entered the bad period. I do not understand what the heck is he thinking, because the VET has a downward looking long DMI. So look, this is the linear regression of the DMI, and the PVT has just closed down the MA. I do not understand. So these coins for sure are going to go down more down before going up again. Maybe they will go back up in 1 month or 2 months, but for sure it's not their time for them to go up.
I just have a quick question about DMI. So if you look at the DMI, it seems like it's projecting in 2 directions, one down and up. I'm wondering how you prioritize.
Okay, so this one, so this is the 28 candles. This is 14 candles, and the other one is 7 candles. So the 28 times 4, that's the 28 times 4. That's the past 112 days. That's 3.5 months prior history of the coin. So it means that it has a long history of going downwards. If you see that it goes up on the 14 candle or 7 candle, it means that maybe it's about to change. But this should be backed by uptrends on the unbalanced volume, okay, or the RSI. In which case they are not. So
it invalidates that small chance.
Yeah. So if this was going down and this was going up like this, yeah, I would maybe. But try this now. So there are, of course, prioritizations which I'm not going to want to mention as I told before. But just if you want to play, if all 3 go up, this is approximately here on the downward on the MACD, and approximately here, and the RSI is above the MA. That's a safe coin for you to buy. And I'm telling it because maybe you guys have some coins on other exchanges, or as you can see here, I follow 362 coins. That covers the Binance, the KuCoin, the Bittrex, and the Kraken coins. But maybe you have other coins that I don't. And I don't suggest you to do analysis on new coins like the Zord, for example, because there is insufficient data. So the Zord coin has a very low RSI, which is very appealing. But on the other hand, there is nothing else about anything else. So maybe this coin is going to break out, but in 2 years. Okay, not now. Here you cannot tell. So these are for coins that have been in the market for at least 6 months.
What about the good riddance strategy? Like you said,
Okay,
I think in one post, you said in one post, like if you remove the coin from the Hagakure bottom finder high seller list, we could add it to the good riddance. However, that could produce like sales with loss, like happened to me. So what's here the recommendation? Okay, so the good riddance depends on the coin, on the current market condition. So when I say market condition, is mostly on the BTC. Okay, so let's suppose that you were look here. This was a very bad market between January 21 and 30th of June. So if you were here, I would say put everything on good riddance if you want to release your funds. Here, this would be another possibility. But now I see signs that BTC is going to come up again. So therefore, it's not recommended to put the coins now into the good riddance, the ones that you
post in the list, you just don't not touch them, and they are going to rebound unless you have coins which you have bought from other strategies several weeks or months ago or years ago, and you would like to get rid of those. These, yes, we can put into the good riddance. So the good riddance, what it does is like a mini version of the high seller. And what it does is that for glimpse of increases in price by looking into RSI that do not really consolidate on the day range, but they consolidate on the 30-minute, 1 hour, or maximum 4 hour, but it is not very strict in doing so. So whenever a price of a coin is going to go up by 10, 20, 30%, even though it may have been up to minus 50, minus 60, then it's going to initiate the sell. So therefore, you will get rid of much of the redness. Probably not completely. It depends what kind of coin you had to begin with. So if you have a coin with minus 60, I mean, don't expect to sell this with a profit, with a good riddance. But if it is on minus 10, minus 20, yeah, in many cases, it will be very close to zero, and you can get rid of that coin.
So if we look at this chart, obviously BTC pretty much interests everybody here. So I'm just wondering, where do you see from this information that the trend for going upwards hasn't been exhausted yet? I can see a few things going up positive, but I'm just wondering how you look at this.
Yeah, we're not going to go through this, but it depends on the kinetics of the of the price range.
Sure.
So this is also kinetics, also with the peaks of some of the MACD, but yeah, so mostly the kinetics. So this is beautiful kinetics, exponential kinetics. And if you see, if you see also the whisk of the bars, they start to point more to the inside. It means it really wants to go back up.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Any other questions? No other questions? Okay. Okay, I see the, okay, well, in this case, thank you very much for your time. If you have any.
Oh, that's the end of that's the end of the meeting? Sorry, I thought it was like the end of the questions for this section.
No, that's it.
No, well, I actually have some questions. I'm not sure. Well, one question I just have is, obviously you have a strategy and you try to execute it consistently, and you try to set boundaries for how far you stretch that strategy. At least it seems from how I observe,
Yes.
you know, what you've said. So I'm wondering, how do you stick to that? Because, you know, a human emotion can come into play, and then you want to make decisions outside of those parameters you might have set for yourself.
Yeah, so one way for doing it is by so-called conditioning, which means after you have played in the cryptocurrency market for some time and you have lost some, then you're conditioning yourself to get rid of emotion. I don't think there is any other. I mean, there is also a pharmacological way for conditioning yourself. So if you take some beta blockers, then you can get rid of the emotion. But what I do is that this analysis, what I have shown you, and I actually strongly suggest you to go through coins and check for it. Just go on historical data, and you will see how well does it apply on many coins. So if you see that if you have done this, you would have consistently made money. That acts as a reinforcement for you to stick to the plan. Yeah, one thing that I forgot to tell you is that when do I suggest you to remove a coin from a list once you have made a profit? And this is done when the RSI 70 has been reached either on the 4-day or on the weekday scale. Where this has happened, then that coin is bound to go down. And no matter how good the indicators will look like, unless the RSI falls back in 50 and then crosses up again the MA, is not worth considering that coin. Okay.
Also, another question that I have. So on large scale, it seems like, you know, these types of trends, they tend to move. I mean, you could kind of attribute it as if to a large institution that, you know, collectively decides to realize its profits all at the same time at a certain peak. and everything will crash, like what happened in April or May. So what I was wondering is, are the signs for this type of event obvious? That point where that breaking point, whatever that peak is, and it's a unique type of peak because it'll result in a big crash, not just a little dip. So I was wondering if, even if you won't share with us what those signals are, like, are they recognizable?
Okay, so normally in normal stock markets, if you have so-called drivers like the Bitcoin and they reach RSI of 70, that will drive the market down. But as you see here, this has not happened. It's insane that you are having such decreases of RSI, for example, here, and then you have decreasing RSI. Just look at the decreasing RSI, and you have increasing in the price point. That is absolutely insane. So this is defies any kind of definition regarding trading and stock. If this didn't exist, I can tell you with a certain amount of confidence that drivers reaching RSI of 70 mean that there is an imminent crash to occur because of the increased amount of sells, but this did not happen here. So I'm telling you the same with a very big grain of salt, that whenever BTC reaches 70, then there's going to be a crash. If you have mini crashes, you should look at the mini crashes as opportunities for further buy, because the mini crashes are transient and they give excellent opportunities for buying. Remember, the strategy that you are using or the signal that you are using relies on decreases in RSI, even though if it is on an uptrending coin. So crash, you like the crashes for buying.
Yeah.
If there is no mini crashes, you don't buy.
Yeah, for sure. So another question. So you have a prediction that Bitcoin will hit 100,000 in February. I'm wondering if that's based on, do you give any credence to the Bitcoin stock to flow model when making that prediction, or is that based off your own technical analysis here? Or is, yeah.
It's based on technical analysis and advice that was given by my friend who lives in Abu Dhabi. I don't remember if I mentioned this, who's a very high roller. Okay.
So I guess it's not just a stock, or maybe it doesn't include the stock to flow model law. So that's good. Another thing, what do you think about NFTs? Is it waste of time or?
No, I think it's very, very good, the NFTs. I was actually looking into I am looking the possibility of making some NFTs on my own.
Okay.
So this is really, really good.
So it seems like that is an untapped potential there for NFTs.
It is getting to be tapped right now.
It's already being tapped.
Yeah. But you would be an early adopter if you go into NFTs.
A lot of these coins, they have kind of ambiguous like purposes, and that's something I try to watch out for. Like, for example, a coin might be called NFT, but I don't know if it actually has any relation to the technology of NFT. So I'm wondering,
I don't know.
Is there any cryptocurrency that might benefit from the popularity of NFTs increasing?
I don't think, maybe indirectly, but I'm looking now at this NFT coin. I don't think it has any, it's very early to tell. It doesn't have yet sufficient amount of indicators for making any analysis.
Okay. There's actually a coin that I own some of it. I'm not sure though yet if it's a waste of time or not.
Two new coin.
Let's see. Obviously, you also are, it seems like you're into making money online in all kinds of ways, like NFTs you just mentioned. Is there anything that you would recommend outside of this specific strategy, which is using Crypto Hopper and trading? Is there any other strategies for making money that you would share with us if you're comfortable?
Regarding crypto or anything? Crypto
or anything in general, like you just mentioned NFTs.
Most of my strategies are also applicable for regular stocks, but with regular stocks you expect to make 10 times less the money. So
Yeah.
it's really, unless you put $100,000 or $1 million, you don't expect to make any serious amount of money from stocks.
Okay.
So with the cryptocurrency, the aim for me is to make between 10 to 14% per month. But of course, that means, last month I made 40%. This month I made almost nothing so far. So, but the average of the 2 months is 20%. Okay. Now we will see how is it. This is for 1st of October. So now we will see for December how it's going to be.
Okay.
10 to 14% can be realized, but if you use the Standard & Poor's 500, which are the best stocks, and with my strategy, I think you will make between 18 to 20% per year. That's almost 10 times less.
So I know, like I've mentioned this a few times in the chat, but I just wanted to clarify here. So you have so many different products, and I was wondering, I use your signals right now.
Okay.
And in this given current market conditions, that's the best thing to use until RSI goes above 70 for BTC, and then you're saying to switch over to an elite strat. That would be the better thing to switch to.
That's true. It is an oversimplification, but that what we just discussed, but that's true. I do change the signal to other strategies when the time comes.
Okay, so for now it's better to just stick with what we've got and ride it out.
Yes.
All right. So right now we're just kind of in a middle zone, like where BTC is oscillating sideways. I know that before you were saying you're not sure, you weren't quite seeing enough signals that it was going to continue up.
No, BTC is going to start entering the uptrend pretty soon. Okay,
so that's good news.
Yes, it will. It definitely will.
Okay, because that's like it didn't quite validate the way that I guess Ethereum kind of went up and now it came back down.
Ethereum has a life of its own.
Yeah.
So I do make some strats specific for Ethereum, but these strats are really specific to Ethereum. It has very different confidence for buying and selling. So, yeah.
And then when BTC goes up, do you feel that it's going to go up and leave the altcoins behind and then switch? Because I guess people tend to put money into what's winning at the time. So do you think that as BTC goes up, our investments, because it seems like the coins you like to choose, which I agree with, you try to choose coins that have more potential for, making more money compared to relatively how much Bitcoin could possibly increase.
Yes, of course.
Size. So
of course, because the strategy and the signal, I do it mindful that you have a finite type of capital. Because if you have an infinite or a very high amount of capital, don't use any strat, just keep buying. And wait.
Yeah. The killer whale.
You don't need any strategy nor signal.
Okay. So, and I guess that's how you kind of operate things. Like you've chosen these coins. I noticed that even though there's like 360 coins and so many coins, every time I update the coin list, I see pretty much the same coins, give or take, that you just kind of cycle through, obviously depending on their trends and whatever you see.
So look, can you see my screen on the right? So these are my alerts.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever I have an alert of this coin, then I do the analysis, and if the analysis is good, then I put it into the Excel sheet. So every day I get alerts for about 50 coins, and I go through one of them one by one, and then some of them do end into the coin list or not. So even though you see in the coin list, 5, 10, 20, 30 coins, I do check almost 400 coins per day.
So these coins, so out of all those coins, then these coins are the only ones that have pretty much like 5 or 6 different buy signals that have to line up for them. So that's why it gets filtered down so thoroughly. Well,
okay, so what happens is that very few coins have more than one alert. Most coins have one alert. And then after the alert is set, then I examine the other indicators. And if they have not been reached, then I change the alert to that indicator that I expect it to be the next one to go, and then render the coin buyable or not.
Okay. And these coins, so all these alerts, and that's a lot of alerts. So each one is set up to show you all those signals lining up, essentially.
No, one of them. Look. For example,
Okay.
let's say for audio. Okay. So for audio, you see that the RSI has not been reached. Okay. You see that the unbalanced volume looks good, and the DMI looks good, and this one looks good. So here I set the RSI the alarm to trigger when the RSI will go up the MA. For another one,
Okay.
let's say for the blue Zell, the trigger is that when the unbalanced volume is going to cross up the DEMA. Okay, so when this one is going to go up here, even though it looks nice, it's not beautiful yet.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, okay, since we stick at blue Zell, this is a bad sign that the MACD is on the green and going downward, and also the elder going downward. So even if the blue Zell unbalanced volume will do this, I'm not going to put it into the list.
Okay. So just because the last two ones are invalidated too much, it should not be
Yes.
going in a downward
Yes,
trend.
yes. I do have an algorithm. I'm not going to explain the algorithm, but there is an algorithm that if this happens, then yes. If it doesn't happen, then no. Or if it happens, something else. So there are a lot of if and when in the algorithm.
So you can use your own judgment in certain situations to make your rules a little bit flexible, I suppose, but not
Yes,
too much. Like this is too much of an invalidation.
exactly.
Okay. And I missed the beginning of the video, but after you post the recording, I'm gonna go back to watch it. So, but I assume, I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but this is what you're clarifying as your signals to enter position. Would you just take the inverse to justify when to exit a position, or maybe you wouldn't share that? I'm not sure.
Okay, so yes, anything. So the exiting of the position is much more strict. If any of those goes south, then then that is an exit for the position.
Okay.
So if you want to put in the coin into the list, then everything has to fit. If you want to remove a coin from a list, then even one of them has to be has to look bad. Unless if there are some other condition which is like, okay, it's probably transient. But in the majority of cases, if one doesn't fit, then it's removed. It's not included into the list of coins.
And your definition of bad, it might be different for every category here. Like for MACD, for example, it has to be red. Like,
so definition
down.
of bad, I also have a priority. For example, the RSI, the OBV, and the DMI are the top three priorities. PVT is second priority. MACD, BB power is third priority.
Okay.
So anything from the first priority, even one from the first priority is down. So if the RSI crosses down the MA, that's it. The coin is removed.
Okay, and also, but when coin is removed, a sell signal is also sent.
No. That's very important. Sell signal is only sent when the RSI 70 on the 1 day or 4 hour scale is reached.
Okay.
So when the RSI crosses below the MA, there is never a sell signal sent, because it means that the price has gone down already. You will just wait until it will go back up.
Okay, so that's interesting. So even though you have all these different indicators to enter position, you put a lot of emphasis on the RSI on the 4 hour or 1 day scale.
Yeah, for the buying on the 40, for the selling 4 hour and 1 day scale, yes.
Okay, so that's a very strong point for you, I suppose, that if it does hit 70 on the 1 day or the 4 hour.
Well, I just say 70, but it's okay. Well, okay, I'll show you the strategy. It's not a big deal. So for the strategy, no, wake up. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So for this is the one that you are having, and also the same practically what you have for the signal. For the selling,
Yeah.
okay, this one is 70, but that's a high position. And for the day, it's a 68, 70 also, but for the close position, 70 open, and for the 2 hour, it's 70 close, 1 hour greater but not equal close, 15 minutes 72, and 5 minutes 80. So you see, it's not the same.
It changes. Yeah.
And but I actually do change these values. I think you have the version 11 or 12 on the strategy. So I do change these values many times, because what I do is that I keep, of course, track on when were the buys and the sells were made, and I try to do the strategy in such a way that it is applicable for the most amount of coins. Because remember that the strategy is coin independent. Okay, the signal is coin dependent, but the strategy is coin independent. So in many cases, if I set a value of RSI of 71, then it will be too early for a coin or too late for another coin. So I try to make this the RSI value chosen and the condition chosen, open, close, low, high, to accommodate for as many coins as possible.
So most of the, like, after you've established that, most of the I guess the work is now in the coin TA, is on the other side, where you're validating every single day with the trends and those signs that you're looking for.
Yes.
And the exit stays relatively simple, other than tweaking, I guess. Here it's not as robust as deciding when to buy.
Yes, and whatever I do, there is no way that the strategy will cover all the coins. Okay, so I just try to win the average every time.
Okay, that makes sense. It's a lot of information. I'm trying to take in all at once.
What I suggest to you is that when you see the recording, just do this, take these indicators and play yourself a little bit with coins.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, what would you suggest to get better? So with this information, I have TradingView on a paid plan. I'm gonna watch this video again. Should I just go in and try to build out these same indicators and just see if I can do it? And because I'm just trying to get better, and because I'm trying to see the way you do things, and it's opening my eyes to how to consistently make money, like in trading. So what do you think? Just come into TradingView and try to rebuild this?
Yes, try to rebuild this. And what I also suggest you is that you try to use other indicators and see which one is better. For example, compare this one, the Hagakure cross, with the MACD. For example, look at this one, for example. Here you would buy this coin on the 20th of July, but if you use the MACD, you would have bought it on the 28th of July. You would have given up this amount of profit already. So, but there are many Mesa, EMA crosses. Try to put other indicators and see how does this strategy, how does this coin analysis compare to other existing strategies.
Yeah, like I've submitted a bit of my TA into the group, the one that shows the hidden bullish divergences and the regular divergences, and I find that it's been decent, like 50% accuracy. It definitely gives me an edge in knowing and trying to predict short-term trends. But this is more, and this tells you what's going to happen a week ahead, like way before in time, not just an hour before it happens.
Yeah, another very important thing is that apply this analysis, but not on a 4-day. Do it on a 4-hour or day, and then see that if you go below the 4-day candle, then this analysis is invalidating itself and is not that robust, because you need to have a trend consolidation for these indicators to be sure that the coin will go up or not. Now keep in mind that if each candle is 4 days, and you expect to make profit within 20th of October to 21st of November, it's about 30 to 40 days. That's why I always say that this coin's strategy and the signal is between 5 to 45 days.
Okay, so this is not a short-term plan at all. That's why it's like
this
80% targets, 100% targets.
Yeah, and I mean 45 days for normal stocks, it's very fast. Nobody does that. But for crypto, you know, people expect to make money within minutes or hours. So which can happen in a scalp, but it's not a scalping strategy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of more questions. I feel like it's amazing that you're here and you're answering questions. And I'm trying to think of something good off the top of my head. But I think that, at least for me, you pretty much answered as much as you reasonably could, honestly. Like
I showed you practically everything except the prioritization of the indicators, but because I just want you to. I want to assure you that what signal I send and what coin selection I make, I don't choose it on chance. I do base it on actual analysis.
Yeah.
And I do strongly suggest you to just reproduce this analysis and go back through some coins and see how does it work. You will see that it really works.
Yeah. And in the meantime, I suppose pretty much just hold tight with whatever we've invested through your signals and your strategies, because it seems that the market is going in an uptrend, no matter, because if you go on YouTube, for example, half of your videos tell you everything's going down and the other half tell you everything's going up. So you never truly know. But right now it seems that things are going in a positive direction.
Yeah, well, and where I come from, there is a saying that outside the dance, you hear a lot of songs. So everybody goes on YouTube and they say whatever they would like to say. So.
Yeah. Sounds good then. If I don't know if anybody else has any more questions. I'm kind of good. I don't have anything else in my mind right now.
Okay.
No
more questions. Okay, gentlemen. Then thank you very much for your time. Okay, if there is,
Thank you.
You can write on the Discord if you have any further questions. Okay.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, Christos.
This momentarily.
Yes, thank you, Christos.
Okay, welcome, guys. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.